Hey there, you're watching the Jessa channel on YouTube. I'm Jessa, and today I am here with more Acanthop Isle. Yep, I have a tale of pain and devastation to share with you. You're looking at an apartment in the mainland. This is the 4 Square Apartments. I believe it's 4 Square Southwest. Yep. And that's because things here are named based upon where they are. This is 4 Square, the central area of the mainland. I've shown you guys this before, but for those of you new to the channel. And you have these 4 different squares here which have little, this is the post office, for example, and the other 3 of these are empty right now, but they can be a restaurant or a diner or a newspaper stand or whatever the sim buys them, wants them to be. Anyway, so 4 Square is the main area of the mainland. And we are on 4 Square Southwest, the let's try that again. The southwest corner of 4 Square. And then, for example, this apartment over here is 4 Square, and this is another 4 Square, and so yeah. Anyway, so this is 4 Square Northeast and 4 Square Northwest, and etc., etc. So, there was a mod that came out about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, I'd say, by Nisha at Mod The Sims, and Nisha did a wonderful mod which made me finally excited to play apartments for the first time. And yeah, well, it turns out that I've come to the firm conclusion, you all. I'm going to say it out loud, out and proud. I hate Maxis apartments. I hate them. Can't stand them. I hate them. They're horrible. From the standpoint of, in the last episode, you saw me decorate Deva Arai's apartment for the 3rd time, I believe. Well, let's take a look at it again, because we are now looking at it having been redecorated for the 4th time. The 4th time. Because when I finally, what ended up happening was I continued to have the furniture disappear. So after I did the episode that you just, the last episode we just saw, and I had finished Deva Arai's apartment, I made sure and turned those cheats off. I saved the lot. I exited out of the game, and the next time I came back into the game, all of her furniture was gone again. So I threw my hands up in the air, and I said, this cannot be the way it's meant to be. There's got to be something wrong. So I went piece by piece using the 50/50 method through my downloads folder and found a mod which I thought may be causing the problem. And going into my testing neighborhood, I was able to stop the furniture from disappearing. So I finally fixed that problem. And then I went to move in this lovely lady here, Miss Kathy. This is Kathy Walsh, and she is Deva's main squeeze. And you have met Kathy before, and if you've been in some of my live streaming sessions, you may have been in the session where we created Kathy. Kathy is an oddball, as you can tell from her deliciously wonderful hair, which she is very proud of. She and Deva hit it off when they were both living over. I moved Deva, as I do with all Sims, all new Sims, new single Sims, I should say. I moved them into the Easter house, the bed and breakfast, and they, while I was looking at another sim, Miss Deva Arai and Miss Kathy got busy left and right in Kathy's dungeon room. So, I said, well, we're gonna have to move these 2 little hot and heavy girls out of here and into their own apartments, and having the new mod made that a possibility. Well, once I moved Kathy into her apartment up here, and then tried to get her to go downstairs and visit by knocking on the door, which is a feature of apartments, by knocking on the door, which was a different door. It was the apartment door at the time. She couldn't knock on it. So when I was playing Deva's apartment, Deva could go visit Kathy, but Kathy couldn't go visit Deva, even though they both had a relationship. And by that point, I was so fed up with the whole thing. And having been working on it off and on for 2 weeks, trying to get this to work, I finally gave up. And I am a pretty determined person. I am very stubborn when it comes to trying to get things to work for my Let's Play channel, but this got me. And I did not want to go through the 50-50 again, and I said, this is ridiculous. So, how have I done this? How have I turned this into an apartment? You might be saying, well, Jessa, tell us. Don't hold back. Please, share. And I shall. I am using a mod, which from my minimal testing, yesterday I had time to redecorate this again, this apartment again, for the 50 gazillionth time. And then after decorating it, I got a chance to play it for a while. You see this here? This is a token that I have been using for so many years. It's by SimLogical. I'm going to show it to you in the catalog. Over here in small electronics, this is the SimLogical security token. Basically, it's a simple way to access who comes into a room and what the room can be used for and by whom. Let me show you. I've placed this SimLogical security token into this room, and I'm going to turn off this light, but I'm going to auto light it so it turns back on at night. We are currently it's at 6:46 a.m. in Acanthop. So we're at dusk. And I'm going to auto light this light. Okay. Make things a little bit less bright in here, in the kitchen. And I'm going to do the same for, actually I'll leave that for now. Okay, so anyway, we have this token here, and it has different access settings that you can put. Clicking here, you can you can be quite complicated with it. Now, the only thing I've ever done with it is to set it up to allow people of a certain name, whoever the name is. For example, right now Deva is set to name 1, and then I have it set to currently to named only. So let me try this again. It'll be a little bit less confusing for you all if we just start from scratch. I'm going to delete this token, and we're going to I'll show you. Kathy's upstairs in her apartment, right? I'd like Kathy to come down here and watch television. Oops, let's have Kathy selected first. That'll help. So I'm going to have her watch the television, okay? She's going to take the elevator downstairs, as you can see. And I just heard the elevator bell. Here she comes. There she is. So here she is coming through the door, and she's going to use the TV. So that's fine. She's watching the Weather Channel. There's no problem with that. But let's suppose that this is an apartment, which it is, and I don't want her to walk into this apartment and use whatever she wants to use. Let's kick her out. Get on out of here, Kathy. And I'm going to send her, I'm going to leave her there for now, actually, because I'm going to have her try and come back in a minute. Now, I want to make this just be Deva's apartment, so that only Deva can enter into this apartment. Let's go over here and grab our SimLogical security token. And I'm going to do move objects on, if I know how to type, which I obviously don't. And I'm also going to use my wonderful quarter tile cheat on. And then see if that works. There we go. Yep. I'm going to put the walls up. I'm going to put it right there. That way, because it doesn't come down with the walls, it doesn't sit in my way. Like if I put it, for example, And you guys as simmers know this a lot, but if I put it there, it'll be blocking my way, which is something I really don't like. So I'm going to remove it and put it back where I had it. When you buy the SimLogical security token, it's set to black, but once you have set it, it's set to white. That's how you know you've set it. Okay. Clicking on Access will give us the different ways in which we can set this security token up. And I had clicked Name Only. You can set it to No Access. No one can come into this room. You can set it so that everyone's allowed except the people on the name list. You can set it so that even NPCs like the maids can't go in here. Right now it's set by default that the maids and any NPCs can come in here that need to use the room, for example. You can set it totally free. You can set it any non-banned. Let me show you what that means. You can choose over here under bans, and you can say ban this type of people. Ban visitors, ban elders, ban adults, ban teens, ban children. Ban NPCs, ban residents, for example. Ban visitors. So you could say, I want you to ban everyone except, like, anyone who isn't on the banned list. Or everyone who isn't on the banned list except for these 4 named people. Like, everyone except for teens, except for these 4 teens, for example. You know, only these names, except if they're on the ban list. Then don't let them through. So you can get more complicated with it. I haven't really bothered with it. The only thing I've used it for over the years is to stop people from going into areas I don't want to. And usually I only want the household to go in, and so that would be the people on the named list. This isn't going to work out very well if you have a household of 8 people, or let's say more than 4 people. But for apartments, I'm not going to have big apartments. The whole point of apartments is to have it be a very small thing for a couple sim, or a couple with a family, or a single sim. Once they get any bigger than that, for example, our lovely full household over on the island, which has just adopted 2 kids, the Kimberleys, that's not going to be too useful for them because they have so many kids. But I have used it when I only want a certain sim. For example, a master bedroom has a master bath, and I only want the people who use the master bedroom to get to use their master bath. Then I have used it there. It's worked flawlessly for me over the years. I've never had a problem with it. The only time I have had difficulty is when I had another mod in by Pescado, which is called the Authorized Personnel System or something like that, which is basically his system, which doesn't work well for me. I've tried it and it just doesn't work. This is very non-complicated. So let's now set up Deva, and it will name whoever's on the lot. Right now, Jeremiah is the paper boy that you see at the front door. So Jeremiah is on the list here, whoever's on the lot. So now you see it's turned to white, and Deva is set to name 1. And that means that if I ask Kathy to watch this television now, Kathy will just go right in there. Okay, let's try this again, because that was wrong. Kathy, you're embarrassing me, okay? You're totally screwing things up. I want you to go outside here. Go outside. It's a nice temperature and dry out there now, but there's a chance of light snow later on today. Okay, let's make sure. Oh, you know why? I just remembered why that happened. Because I put her on the named, but I didn't set what I want the access to be. So I have to set it to named only. So you guys won't make the mistake I just made. Named only. Kathy's set to not be on the name list. Now let's try it and see what happens. And she can't get in. But you might say, well, but Jessa, that's really annoying because will she sit outside this door trying to get into something she wants to use in here? And that's the thing that I like so much about the security system, is that she will not. There's a patch that comes with the security system that's on the SimLogical page that makes sure that the route blocking flags are set, meaning that a sim will not try So I'm going to let Kathy just stand here for a while and let it run. And normally, you know, she might be trying to pull up to use things like the bathtub or the television or the computer or whatever. But as far as Kathy is concerned, there's nothing behind this door available to her. So she's just not going to bother with it. And that's how I am going to use apartments. And that will hopefully solve the problem that I had with Maxis apartments. And I'd like to hear if you enjoy Maxis apartments, and if you do, please, like I said, let me know how you have got them to work. But whether it was my mods, whether it was some setup, I have something wrong in my setup, whether that's the way the apartments were supposed to work, it was just too much fuss for too little gain. Especially because, for example, if I wanted in an apartment to make this outside area here, if I wanted to remove this area here and make it into a nice little patio area for the residents, I couldn't do that. Not without fuss and bother and using cheats that were a little bit wonky, and it just wasn't worth it. Not even remotely worth it, when this does basically the same thing that I want it to do. So we're going to try it for a while and see how it works out. Now, what I plan to do in this episode, besides talking to you about how you can do apartments without Apartment Life, and this is the way you can do it, or if you, as I do, don't like the way apartments work the Maxis way, this is how you do it. Also, by the way, this is effective with Pescado's toilet thing here. So far as I've been able to tell, and we'll have to see as we play, Kathy is not getting the urge to use this toilet, even though her bladder is. When I had her standing upstairs, she never. This Macrotastics bathroom uses you that I use all the time. It still works with the Symbological Security Token, so that Kathy is not trying to get into the bathroom downstairs. Now, what I wanted to do in this episode is we're going to have another decorating episode. And I want to thank, by the way, looking through new eyes, a viewer here on the channel told me today, sent me a message that I had forgotten to put a door into the bedroom here. And he or she is exactly right. I did. Absolutely, totally right. So let's put one in right now. These doors are the Long Island door set that I'm using. And so I thought we would go ahead and decorate Kathy's apartment now and give it a whirl. Kathy is a very odd little person. I have a feeling that she's going to end up being a witch. And so I'm going to have kind of set the apartment up with that in mind. I don't feel like Kathy's apartment will be anything remotely as nice as this. Oh, speaking of nice and furnishings and that kind of stuff, the one thing about apartments is that it allows you to pay rent. And that, of course, is a problem. If this is which this is, a residential lot, as you can see up here, it's a residential lot. So, how am I going to work that out with people paying their rent? Well, I gave it some thought, and I came up with a very simple little pseudo way of getting them to pay their rent. And that is, when the mail comes, the bills come. The first bills that come will be paid by Deva. The next bills that come will be paid by Kathy. And if we move a third person into the apartment upstairs here, the next bills that come will be paid by them, and they'll just rotate, and I will consider that to be their rent. Also, the way that I keep funds separate, I've mentioned this to you before, is using this lovely little tree here, which is Christian Love's Wallet Token Controller, a fancy name for basically a separating Sims money system. And Kathy has on deposit, let's check her account. So we can also check the accounts of anyone else in the hood. I'm going to click on me. Kathy has 10,000 simoleons in her account from the money that she got from moving out of the bed and breakfast. And then Deva also has, let's check her accounts. Deva has 10,500 that she has gotten as a gift from her sim goddess. And after I'm done decorating Kathy's apartment with these funds here, I'm going to lower the funds down to like 1,000 or 500 or something like that. And then when each of them comes to work and when they come home, I just put the funds that they got from work into their deposits. And then they can use that to pay for things that they want. And that's how I keep the money separate. I've been using that before I started doing apartments though. So let's look at what we have here. And I did spend most of that episode kind of talking about the SimLogical security, but I really wanted you guys to know about it because it is a way around, and a very good way, and it's a way to be able to do a lot more than just make apartments. There are more features that come with the SimLogical security system, so please make sure to check out that page on the SimLogical page. You can Google SimLogical in order to get to their Sims 2 page. Now, let's look at what Kathy has available. I feel so free. I can change wallpapers and doors and windows and all that kind of stuff. And I know you guys did correct me and say that you can change wallpapers in an apartment, but there was so much you couldn't change that I just didn't feel like bothering with it. Now, Kathy is a bit of an oddball, and I feel like she would want, the very first thing is that she loves aliens. That's her thing. So, she's also going to want a kitchen as well too. I'm wondering if I should use a color scheme for Kathy. I probably should, in all fairness. So I'm going to pause and pick out a color scheme and have her create it in a painting. I will be right back. Okay, that was not too hard to find a color scheme for our Miss Kathy Walsh here. I'll show it to you. Let's get out the easel for her. Yeah, I'm just clicking on everything except for the easel. I've got no good excuse either. I can't even say it's because I'm tired. It's just, I don't know. I have no good excuse. Okay, let's hope that Kathy's up. Her skill level to make a custom painting is not high enough. So what I'll do in this case is have Deva make it. Oh, Deva! Time to get up! Get up, Deva! Get up! Wakey, wakey, pumpkin! I know you're dreaming about your time on stage. College repertory theater. But, it's time to make a painting on a squared canvas for your girlfriend Kathy's house. So even though Deva has an extra bed here, Kathy could be staying there, or even since they're now lovers, they could be staying in the same bed together. But Deva is, well, she's a one-woman kind of woman as far as living alone is concerned. So, get up, Deva. Good girl. And that's what I mean about bathroom uses you. Is Deva going immediately to the bathroom afterwards, which is one of the many things I like about that. In Let's Playing, in which I've been doing now for, it will be a year next month in November, 11/11. And she just made the bed from the bathroom. That's cool. Okay. And the image I have chosen is a tulip image, which you won't be able to see very well until I'm going to have Kathy come out here and at least chat with people. Or not. Oh, thanks for getting the mail. Appreciate that, Kathy. It'll be Deva's turn to pay the mail. 216. It'll be more, though, as the apartments are rented. All 3 apartments are rented. The rent will be more for each person to pay each week. I'm going to move this up, the speed up a bit. Yay, talking. This is Eileen Withers from the orphanage. Out for her usual morning walk. And there's Kathy reading the paper. And once again, as you can see, she's not trying to get to anything inside the apartment. Go, Deva, go! I chose a color scheme that was primarily focused on, oh, Willow Storkway is no longer a family friend. Oh, that's all right. We'll talk to her. Okay, so we now have a beautiful, look at that, gorgeous color scheme. And I just went to designseeds.com, design-seeds.com, which is where I get all my color schemes from. There's hundreds on there. I would never be able to use them all in a million years. And I was looking for something with greens in them and kind of bright colors. So this was on the first page, and it's an easy choice for Kathy, who is very into the whole green thing. And there we go. There's our color scheme. So now, while the ladies stand outside and talk, I'm going to start working on Kathy's place. Let's see. I just need to think about it for a minute. Let's first start by delineating. Let's see. This back here is the kitchen, living area. Okay. It always takes me a minute before I dive into decorating to kind of get my thoughts as to how I see things in my mind and what the sim is going to like and appreciate. This house is another house by Plastic Box. So I'm going to, well, I'm not sure. I'm thinking I might leave the walls and floors as they are, but I'm not sure about that. Because I do not mind if the residents change the walls and floors of their apartments at all. In fact, that's the reason why I wanted these type of apartments. Okay, let's move first into, but I am seeing a tile for the kitchen first, so let's start there. So I just kind of get that color scheme into my head and then see what pops out first. I think there's a real nice dark purple in here. I'm trying to find that for something like that for the floor. So since beginning to use color schemes, which by the way is, I give credit to you all for doing so, the viewers who have people coming to my live simming sessions, told me that I was kind of stuck in my decorating and that I, needed to branch out into brighter colors, which was quite true. And so I'm not seeing exactly what I want, so I think I'm going to go with this red. Okay. Because I can't see a purple. And so since using color schemes, I've gotten used to just doing every house. And as a result, I have much more varied households than I would have had otherwise. And I'm really pleased about it. Now let's see if we can find a wood floor. I just said I'd keep these wood floors, but I lied. Okay. And see if I can find one that is kind of a darkish purplish. Because I have an idea for what Kathy would like. This is black, and that's too much. A little lighter. No. I want something kind of off-tone. It's going to be hard, I admit, to find something with purple in it, in a black, in a dark wood, I mean. Oh, that's neat. I will keep that in mind. That's a Holy Simoleon wood floor that has Holy Simoleon polished boards in black. And it's also taxed my my downloads folder, or the capabilities of my downloads folder, I should say, because using all these different colors, particularly colors I don't normally use, like greens, means that it really taxes my folder to try and find matching colors for them. I think I'm going to go for that Holy Simoleon board in black. That was right here. So already we're going to have a very different look for Kathy's apartment than for Deva's apartment downstairs. Now, the next thing I see is pretty amusing. I don't think that Kathy's going to be really too much worrying about a lot of furniture. She's one of those people that's just like, as long as there's something basically to sit down on, she's happy. But Kathy is very, as I'd mentioned earlier, very much into the pursuit of extraterrestrial friends. And so, I'm trying to remember where telescopes are. So embarrassing how little I remember what's in the catalog for a game I've been playing since for 9 years. I never remember anything. Where are the stupid catalogs? The little... Here we are. Nope, those are musical instruments. Let's try this one more time. There we go. I can practically hear the hands smacking the foreheads as you guys shake your heads and wonder at how I managed to be a simmer for this long. Okay, so this is what I was thinking about. I'm going for a kind of a steampunk look for Kathy. Perfect. In her place. And this is a steampunk telescope that is made by Evanesco. And it's made functional by EFJ, EEFJE 00704.livejournal.com. As usual, go into 720p if you're trying to find something and look at the text. Hopefully that'll be big enough for you to be able to see the text. So I feel like Kathy would have this wonderful telescope here. And not to be undone, she wants to make sure she can see out of all angles. Let's throw another one. And this is actually, I think... Yeah, that's a TS3 steampunk. These look exactly the same to me. They are. Let's try this one. Ah, here we go. Alchemist Spyglass. And we'll do that. Let's see what colors we have to choose from. Quite a lot. Good. Oh, that's wonderful. That has even got some, I'm going to zoom in so you can see how this has kind of a, I'll put it down so you can see here. It has kind of a neat overlay on it. That's really neat. This telescope is by, it's called the Alchemist Spyglass. It's part of the Dark project at Mod The Sims 2. So it is over on Mod The Sims. And we're going to put that right out here so Kathy can see. Hopefully that allows her to look at it. We'll have to, of course, play testing is what allows me to make sure everything is in the right place. Now the next thing I'm envisioning for Kathy is a kind of simple chair here in the corner. And I wish there were some kind of bean bags that I had. I'm imagining that, a kind of poof like that. That doubles as a couch. Let me know if you've ever seen just, you know, bean bags that you kind of throw on the floor. This is like a poof, but I'm talking about a big mushy pile of bean bags. If you have ever seen those. As a, I'm just wondering why there's an amplifier in my musical instruments. If you've ever seen those out in the Sims community, I'd like to know about them. Thank you. Okay, so we have a poof here, and then I think Kathy would like a very nice steampunkish type chair here, preferably in green. And that means I know exactly who I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna aim for, yeah, perfect. Aim for, this is a vintage lounge chair. This I know, well, I don't know, but I'm fairly certain I got from Mod The Sims, and it's really neat. Look at that. So, let me see if I can get a different pillow color though. Better. I'm gonna go for that. That's neat. It has a little couple of leaves on it as a motif. And so, Kathy's living room, pretty spare, pretty sparse, but she doesn't need a lot. I'll put a table in here. I'm going to stop this episode right here. We're going to come back in part 2 and finish Kathy's apartment. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please hit the thumbs up button below and encourage me. And if you loved what you saw, join the party, the ever-growing party, and subscribe. Thank you all for your patience and hanging out while I was fixing the apartment mess, and we're back to recording as per usual. So, thank you so much for watching. Get every new Jessa channel video right in your email inbox. Subscribe, then from your YouTube homepage, click Manage Subscriptions, then check Email with new uploads. And thanks for watching.